AITA I told wife that 10-year daughter was more mature than her. My 28M wife 32F and I went to an Ace restaurant today with our 10-year daughter. My wife has this bad habit of ordering too much food at restaurants and then not eating it fully. A lot of the times, the restaurants do not allow doggy bags, so the food gets wasted. So I decided to take her to an Ace today because she'll be able to take only as much as she wants to eat. She started piling up a lot of food on her plate. I told her to add lesser portions and finish all the food. She said that she'd finish all the food because she was really hungry. I kept quiet after that. My daughter, on the other hand, was taking a little of each dish to taste and then deciding which one she wanted more of. I appreciated her for being so mature. As expected, my wife wasted nearly half of the plate she had so enthusiastically filled, and the manager told us we'd have to pay extra for the food wastage. I didn't want to tell my wife anything at the restaurant, so I just paid the bill and we went back home. After we put our daughter to bed, I told my wife that she acted very immature at the restaurant, and our 10-year daughter had the sense to gauge her own hunger. My wife told me she was really excited to see so many varieties of food that she liked, and she couldn't control herself. AITA? Edit. I do all the chores because she doesn't like to get her hands dirty. We live on only my salary. She doesn't ever pay for food or groceries despite earning more than me. She thinks the man should be the one paying for everything. What's up with the replies? Wife doesn't help with any household chores and they only live off of his salary when she makes more, and she truly believes men should pay for everything. Op. I'm sorry that people don't want to tell you that your wife is an asshole, but I surely will. NTA. Am I taking crazy pills here? Op isn't bossing her around. He just wants her to portion out her food appropriately, so she's not wasting food. I don't see what the issue with that is. I don't know if the daughter comparison would have the effect Op is looking for, but it's better than doing nothing and letting her continue on wasting food and money. Like the top comment said, this isn't about food, is it? Op. What are you getting out of this relationship? No financial support or house care. Are you happy? Because you clearly don't sound like it. I would advise you what I would advise any woman in a similar situation. You deserve better. You can leave or try counseling. But staying like this will only lead to a bigger resentment. Seems like there's some resentment there beyond this issue. The issue itself could be she was in a state of scarcity as a child. I have a similar thing. Food was never actually that scarce, but I was given the impression that food was expensive and treats were few and far between. That my dad should get the biggest portion and that his needs came first. This gave me an issue into adulthood that meant I always ordered, served up, asked for more food than I actually needed because I got excited about eating out or had an underlying anxiety that I would never get this chance again. I'm working through this issue, but at no point would someone calling me immature, shaming me, or bringing up money or waste help me work through this issue, which goes back to something imprinted on me years ago. Really, this should be treated like an eating disorder or an anxiety disorder, with care and sensitivity, not shame. As her partner, do you actually want to help her get to grips with this, or do you just want strangers on the internet to call her a greedy asshole? Resentment is a good reliable sign a relationship is doomed to fail. Is this something you are aware of and want to remedy? NTA. You warned her. She said she could handle it. Then she said she was really excited to see so many varieties of food that she liked and she couldn't control herself. The comparison to a child is spot on perfect. lack of self-control, especially immediately after being explicitly warned, is immature. She is sheltered from the consequences. Paying extra by you. She is also wasting perfectly good food. Don't enable this behavior. She can pay for the extra if she can't control herself. You can still pay the dinner bill, but she needs to be responsible for her actions, especially if you give her advance warning. NTA. This seems to be a reoccurring thing and not a one-time deal. Yes, eyes are bigger than the stomach, but based on previous times this happened, she could take a little first, then go for seconds. There's no harm or embarrassment in seconds. You didn't say it in public, or make it a huge deal at the restaurant. The maturity comment maybe was a bit harsh. Communication is key, and maybe try express your feelings and talk it out with each other in a calm environment. It might be a little embarrassing, but maybe bring a little Tupperware container when going to restaurants that don't have doggy bags, so at least it can be eaten later instead of going to waste. What kind of a buffet is telling you that you'd have to pay extra? That's a really strange rule for any restaurant, but especially for a buffet. Automod, thanks for posting. This comment is a copy of your post so readers can see the original text if your post is edited or removed. This comment is not accusing you of copying anything. Read this before contacting the mod team. My 28M wife, 32F, and I went to an ACE restaurant today with our 10-year daughter. My wife has this bad habit of ordering too much food at restaurants and then not eating it fully. A lot of the times, the restaurants do not allow doggy bags, so the food gets wasted. So I decided to take her to an ACE today because she'll be able to take only as much as she wants to eat. She started piling up a lot of food on her plate. I told her to add lesser portions and finish all the food. She said that she'd finish all the food because she was really hungry. I kept quiet after that. My daughter, on the other hand, was taking a little of each dish to taste and then deciding which one she wanted more of. I appreciated her for being so mature. As expected, my wife wasted nearly half of the plate she had so enthusiastically filled, and the manager told us we'd have to pay extra for the food wastage. I didn't want to tell my wife anything at the restaurant, so I just paid the bill and we went back home. After we put our daughter to bed, I told my wife that she acted very immature at the restaurant, and our 10-year daughter had the sense to gauge her own hunger. My wife told me she was really excited to see so many varieties of food that she liked, and she couldn't control herself. AITA I am a bot, and this action was performed automatically. Please contact the moderators of this subreddit if you have any questions or concerns. Exactly what does she do with her money? Time to make her chip in. That's ridiculous that what's hers is hers and what's yours is hers too. Clearly NTA. Food waste is a problem, and at ACE restaurants you got the chance to get exactly how much you want. She acted immature, selfish and stubborn. It was right to tell her this. Every grown-up should be able to handle ACE right. NTA Your wife is wasteful and costing you money. She needs to grow up. NTA. This is a behavioral pattern for your wife, and you seem to be at your wit's end about this situation. NTA. I don't really get why so many comments bash you for controlling how much she eats. From what I understand, you let her order as much as she wants but hate the food waste. I'm guessing that an ACE is like a buffet? I was taught as a kid that you take small portions and get more when you're still hungry afterwards. That's the way to do it. Not only to not waste food, but also to not take away from other guests. Maybe the way you talked to her wasn't great, but she needs to learn how to control her food piling. Does she do that when she cooks too? NTA. What is happening to her salary? You had to pay extra for the food waste she caused? Oh, hell no. You should have told the restaurant to split the check and you pay for yourself and your daughter. And let your selfish wife pay for herself. NTA. Does she ever pay for the meals? Does she experience any consequences for waste? It sounded like you didn't ask her to pay for the waste charge in this case. Based on the last sentence before AITA, I wonder if there might be a deeper issue here. Is food the only area in which she lacks control? Since she had a child rather young. Is this perhaps a way she expresses a desire for freedom? Not a psychologist of any sort, so feel free to take this with a grain of salt. But that idea immediately jumped out at me. NTA. After reading your responses, in particular your wife not doing chores or paying for anything, it sounds like your wife is a brat. And you need to be careful that this childish and shitty behavior from your wife isn't transferred to your daughter. I'd consider having a long and meaningful chat with your wife about this. And explain that what she is doing and how she is behaving is detrimental to your family dynamic. If that doesn't work, it's time for family therapy. NTA. Your wife is behaving worse than a 10-year-old child. She has little control of her behavior. Perhaps she had food insecurity in the past, but being wasteful of food is a problem. You weren't trying to limit her food intake, but just giving a gentle reminder that there is plenty for her to eat and she can go back for more if she wants. Impulse control is a very big thing, and eyes being bigger than stomach is also a thing, but as an adult she has to know that there are consequences for her behavior. I don't believe this story is true. I do all the chores because she doesn't like to get her hands dirty. We live on only my salary. She doesn't ever pay for food or groceries despite earning more than me. She thinks the man should be the one paying for everything. You wife not only sounds sexist, but she also sounds like she's using you. Like WTF. Why are you with someone like this? Have you tried sitting her down and telling her she needs to monetarily contribute and do chores? You need to tell her that. She sounds exhausting. NTA. Have your wife ever experienced food insecurity? I've been to many ace restaurants and, like your daughter, took small portions of things to taste and then back for things I really liked. Your wife's behavior seems kind of like people who had large families and you have to get all you want first go round, or there you were out of luck. Perhaps your wife needs some counseling. That, along with the thing about not doing chores because she doesn't like to get her hands dirty, and not wanting to pay for food or groceries and men should pay for everything, makes me think she has some mental issues, or maybe she's just lazy and gluttonous. Either way, she needs to make some changes and help contribute and help with the house and errands.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.